We're back for daily college basketball best bets here on January 5th. Yesterday, not a great day, 2-3. Kicked off the day right. Finally got off the schneid on that one. Richmond wins, and then Iona proceeds to lose by like 40 points. Fairleigh Dickinson let St. Francis score 85 points of them. The Hoosiers come through because Indiana is just like that. And then Loyola Marymount got off to a good start against Gonzaga. I mean, the first 10 minutes of that game, the score is 14-14. Actually, at one point, Loyola Marymount was up 14-4. They then proceeded Gonzaga to go on a 50-5 run. I wish I was joking. I think it was actually 50-8. I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but it was atrocious. LMU banned for the rest of the season. Gonzaga let them get in that game very early. Zaga couldn't make a shot. I'm watching Graham Ike chuck up threes the entire first 10 minutes of that game, and then Gonzaga proceeds to win by, 45 points? So LMU, you suck. LMU suck. Hey, there we go. Regardless, though, 5 more best bets for this Monday slate of basketball. And folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily college basketball best bets here on the channel. Later today, we're going to have our NBA best bets, so go make sure to check out that video as well. Yesterday, we posted our college football predictions for the final 3 college football games, or I guess final 3 of 4 college football games of the season. FCS championship game is actually tonight between Montana State and Illinois State, and also the 2 playoff games in the Fiesta and Peach Bowls, with, of course, Ole Miss taking on Miami in that Fiesta Bowl, and Oregon versus IU2 in the Peach Bowl. Also, on Wednesday, we're going to have our NFL predictions, so make sure to join us for that. Actually, might move that to Tuesday this week. Regardless, our wildcard predictions are coming soon on the channel, again, potentially on Tuesday this week. All right, let's get into now the first of our 5 best bets, kicking things off with the earliest game we get today, and we're finally going back to the normal weekday schedule of no games at 9 o'clock in the morning. So, maybe my days won't have to be ruined by the time I wake up and I see the team we bet on is losing by 25 points at the end of the first half. Nah, we got back on the right track yesterday with Richmond, so I can't complain too much. Anyways, we're gonna kick off with a 2 o'clock game. Let's go to the Ivy League. Let's go to Columbia versus Cornell. Currently, I'm seeing minus 140 for the Big Red. I hope that doesn't move too much more, because I really think Cornell is a big advantage in this basketball game. I think they should beat Columbia. First off, games in Cornell. It's in New York. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what city Cornell's in, but I know it's in New York. The Big Red are at home. First Ivy League game for both these teams. I don't see how Columbia can keep up scoring-wise with this team. I mean, if you watch the Cornell Big Red, it is shots upon shots upon shots. It is high-scoring output every single game. They're at home. They've got a bunch of guys who can just sit on the perimeter and shoot threes. This team is dangerous. This team went to East Lansing, Michigan, and they lost, but they put up 97 points. I mean, the lowest point total Cornell has put up is 65 to Illinois State, but other than that game, the lowest amount of points they've scored in a single game is against Townsend on the road. If you've watched Townsend basketball, they play really good defense. So their lowest point totals all year long are 80 points to Townsend. The Illinois State game we're going to forget about. It's the second game of the year. And then George Mason, where they scored 81. In every other game other than that, they have scored at least 85 points. You have to score if you're going to beat Cornell. On top of that, Columbia is going on the road to take on this team. Yeah, I'm going to side with the Big Red to get this one done. They are coming off of, I believe, a Division II victory over Alfred State. Again, what is Alfred State? Your guess is as good as mine. Cornell's victories, a lot of them came early in the season. They started the year 5-2, beating Lafayette, Army, Colgate in double overtime, and Bucknell in a Division II game in there as well. Their losses, all on the road. They have not lost at home yet this season, which I think gives them a massive advantage in this game. All their losses are on the road. Kent State game to kick off the season against the Golden Flashes, where they lost 110 to 102. Again, the aforementioned Illinois State Redbirds game, and then losses at George Mason, at Townsend, at Samford, and a victory on the road at UAlbany after that. And then, of course, the game and that they lost in East Lansing to the Spartans. Cooper Nord leads the team in scoring with 19 points per game. Adam Hinton also averages a fair amount. He's averaging 15. Everyone on the court, for the most part, can shoot. For the most part. At least at all times, there are going to be 4 guys who can shoot lights out from beyond the arc for the Big Red. Cooper Nord's a 40% three-point shooter. Adam Hinton's a 47% three-point shooter. Jake Feasion is a 40% three-point shooter. DJ Nix shoots 42% from beyond the 43% from beyond the arc. They are dangerous, and they are not afraid to let it fly the entire night. That's just what they do. As for Columbia, this is a team that is 11-3 this season. It's somewhat of a padded record, we can say, because of the teams that they have played. Best victory all year long for this team is probably at Fairfield. or at Lehigh. New Haven victory on the road, probably not. It's probably not their best win. When I look at this game stylistically, I don't know how Columbia can keep up. They've got some decent scorers. It's not on the level of what Cornell does, though. Kenny Nolan is the best player on Columbia and best scorer on Columbia. He's averaging 17 points per season, senior guard for this team, obviously fourth year at Columbia, because for the most part, you don't leave Ivy League schools except if you're Xavier Lee. Columbia's second leading scorer in Zine Bedri, who's from Algeria, has been out since November, so that's a big-time player that's been out for them for most of the season. So it's been a lot of Kenny Nolan doing the scoring. Blair Thompson averages 10.5 points. He's acts as kind of their five-ish. I mean, Columbia is going to play small basketball just like Cornell is likely to do as well. But Blair Thompson is going to operate as their second leading scorer, playing that 5/4 role, averaging 10 points and 6 rebounds per game. This is a fairly decent three-point shooter. He's not going to attempt the most volume from beyond the arc, but he does shoot about 48% from beyond the arc this season. Again, usually only takes anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 three-pointers per game, but Blair Thompson is a weapon from beyond the arc, and he's likely to hit at least one in every single game that he plays. But other than Blair Thompson, other than Kenny Nolan, there's not much else I like on Columbia. Yes, they're 11-3, and they have a way better record than the Big Red do, but who have they beaten? Their victories are New Haven, UMass Lowell, Boston University, where they scored 54 points, Lehigh, Longwood, Fairfield, Hofstra, Albany. Back-to-back wins coming into this one over North Florida and Penn State Abington. Their L's at California, they got blown out by the Golden Bears. They went to Stony Brook and lost in overtime, and obviously went to Connecticut and lost to the Yukon Huskies. I just don't think they can go on the road and win this game. Again, the common denominator in all of their L's, they're all on the road. This is a team that is 3-3 on the road this season, but look at their wins. Again, it's New Haven in their first ever Division I basketball game. Lehigh's Lehigh, and North Florida is not very good. They're taking on a Cornell team who is yet to lose at home all year long, undefeated, beating the likes of Colgate, Ryan Curry, and Army. That's it, other than their Division II victories. But this is a team coming off of scoring 133 points against a Division II school in Alfred State. This is a hot scoring team from beyond the arc. I mean, when you've got a player like Cooper Nord, who is capable of scoring 35 points in a collegiate basketball game, that's big time. Again, senior guard, averaged 13 points per game last season for the Big Red. He's averaging near 20 this season for the squad. I absolutely like Cornell here. I just don't think Columbia is able to keep pace with this shooting onslaught. Give me the Big Red here at home to win at -140. Hoping that line comes down a little bit, and hoping at the same time it doesn't go the other way. Give me Cornell -140. I'm very confident that they will win this game at home because of their shooting and scoring ability. I combine the two to get scooting. That's great. Their shooting and scoring, I'm taking Cornell. On to our next game, and we move to the Southland Conference, as we've got the Lamar Cardinals going on the road to take on the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. Give me Lamar to go on the road and win this basketball game. I don't think the road conditions for Lamar going to Hammond, Louisiana is going to play too much of a factor to the point where I can't take them. No, we're going with Lamar because they are the much better basketball team. And that is a little strong to say, but I firmly believe that. Lamar is levels better than the Southeastern Louisiana team that has continuously struggled so far here in 2025 and now on to 2026. This is a team that is 1-4 so far in the Southland Conference, their only victory being on the road against lowly Houston Christian, in which they won by 3 points in overtime. Their losses in the conference, a loss at home to East Texas A&M, a loss at Incarnate Word, and a loss at home in their last game against Stephen F. Austin. The Lions are 4-10 this season, with their only victories being William Carey, Gardner Webb, Navy, and again, the Huskies of Houston Christian. There's just not a lot going on for Southeastern Louisiana, and I don't think they're very good. They lost to the Louisiana Raging Cajuns earlier this season. The Raging Cajuns kind of suck. So, and with all due respect, they have cashed for us before the season, but I don't think this line seems good, is good at all. And again, the proof is in that loss to the Raging Cajuns. It's a loss at home to East Texas A&M, almost losing to Houston Christian, losing to Northwestern State in your Southland opener, which I forgot to mention earlier. And there's not many great scores for the Lions. Their leading scorer is Jeremy Eelzy, who averages 12 points per game. Isaiah Gaines is going to be averaging 10. Other than that, there's not another double-digit scorer on average for the Lions this season. Again, Eelzy is their best player, I would say. Second-year starter for the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. And then there's Isaiah Gaines, who's in his senior year. operates as essentially their 4/5, came on over from Radford last season, started his collegiate career over with the Florida Atlantic Owls. He's averaging 10-6 this season, playing fairly decent basketball, but it's the explosiveness is what lacks for the Lions, the bench depth, and just the overall scoring depth on this team. There's not many premier players on the squad. They are coming off a 20-point performance out of Mekhi Miles in their last game. Miles is a guy who was basically putting up anywhere from 2 to 5 shots per game. Randomly, he scores 20 against Stephen F. Austin, because why? He randomly went 5 for 5 for beyond the arc. This is a guy going into that game was shooting around 20% from 3, and randomly against Stephen F. Austin, Mekhi Miles shot 5 for 5 for 20 points in 36 minutes. Weird, and by the way, they still lost the game by 10. I don't think the sophomore out of Starkville, Mississippi is going to do that again, but I feel like it is important to say that Mekhi Miles was on fire in their last game. Prior to that, though, man, just some bad shooting night. So really random. I'm going to mark that currently as an outlier. As for the Lamar Cardinals, I know they've been very mediocre so far in the Southland. I know they have been underachieving, I shall say, on expectations, but 2-3 squads so far in conference play. Didn't play the best in with their non-con schedule, except for their upset victory on the road in Missoula, Montana against Money Williams and the Montana Grizzlies. It's a team that's coming off now of 2 of 3 victories, beating Northwestern State, something that the Lions failed to do, and just like Southeastern Louisiana failed to do again, they went to East Texas A&M and picked up a victory in Southland Conference play. Now, Lamar concluded this 3-game road trip, and a brutal 3-game road trip at that. I mean, my goodness, 6 days on the road, Northwestern State, East Texas A&M, and then you get rewarded by having to go to McNeese. Again, the road trip doesn't end yet. They're going to Southeastern Louisiana for another one, but they lost to McNeese, but only by 12 points. Honestly, I'll take that. Don't love the losses to the likes of UT Rio Grande Valley. Hate that one. Texas A&M Corpus Christi, that team plays good defense. I can't lie to you. Okay, I'm kind of sold right now on the Islanders. Potentially more on them later in the video. I don't know. But I like Lamar a lot more than I do Southeastern Louisiana. The talent is there, and they've just looked better in their last couple games in Southland play, and it's been on the road too, as this team, again, like I mentioned earlier, has already racked up 2 road victories in conference play, which is difficult to do. I don't care it's Northwestern State. I don't care it's East Texas A&M Commerce. They have gone on the road and won multiple games, and they've gotten big scoring nights recently out of both Andrew Holyfield and Rob Lee Jr., who are their 2 best players and 2 best scorers. Braden East does a lot for this team too, and I'll bookmark that and get to him in a second, but their best scorer so far has been Rob Lee this season. Junior out of Flint, Michigan, I believe played I think he played the JUCO route, but he's been a pretty consistent scorer for this team all year long, averaging 15 points per game from the point guard position. And then you got their center in Andrew Holyfield. This guy's averaging 14 points per game and 5.5 rebounds. Last year was his first season at Lamar. He's coming off a 21-point performance against McNeese, which is impressive, again, because the Cowboys are the consistent favorite every single year in the Southland Conference. And then there's Braden East as well, who plays more of a 4/3 type of role, but is a solid third option for this team. Does start, plays less minutes than the other 2, but Braden East gets up for rebounds. He averages 11 and 9 so far this season for the Lamar Cardinals. There are players up and down the lineup for this team, and I do just think they outweigh whatever Southeastern Louisiana has. Southeastern Louisiana has just been a bad basketball team all year long. Again, only conference win on the road against Houston Christian, and I don't care that the Lions get this game at home. I think Lamar easily takes care of him. It's a Lamar Cardinals team that you could actually argue has played better basketball on the road this season. Actually, I don't think I think that's very fair to say. They've won one home game at home? It's one hell of a tongue twister. They've won one home game all season long, and that was to the Raging Cajuns. They went to Monroe, Louisiana, and beat ULM. They went to Montana and won, to Northwestern State, to East Texas A&M, and then I guess if you want to count the 2 D2 victories against Texas A&M San Antonio and the University of Our Lady of the Lake. But this team's been good on the road all year long. Why wouldn't they be good on the road tonight? Give me Andrew Holyfield, give me Rob Lee, and give me the Lamar Cardinals to improve to 3-3 in Southland play and to move above 500 with a victory on the road tonight in Hammond, Louisiana against the Southeastern Louisiana Lions. On to our third best bet of the video, and yes, it's a very Southland themed video, because now we're looking at the Incarnate Word Cardinals going on the road over to Edinburgh, Texas to take on the UT Rio Grande Valley Vaqueros. Give me IUW. IWU, IUW, one of the two. It's UIW. Yeah, because the University of Incarnate Word. Anyways, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to take Incarnate Word. And I have picked against this team quite a bit this season. I have told you this team's not very good. They've pieced together 3 straight wins. I already know what they do. I've watched enough Incarnate Word basketball. And it's just the matchup here I think favors them a lot. As long as Incarnate Word can get going and one of their 3 or 4 scorers can have a big night, we should win. I will tell you this. This game is going to be won and lost by the performance and by the play of Davion Bailey. Incarnate Word only goes as far as Davion Bailey takes them. It's as simple, and if you've heard me talk about Incarnate Word, you've probably already heard me talk about this what they do before, but if you haven't, I will refresh you on this, or I will obviously just explain. Every single big set and big play Incarnate Word goes through Davion Bailey. He's not going to take the ball off the court. He's not going to, ISO one-on-one. They are looking for every possible way to get Davion Bailey the basketball. Davion Bailey's their leading scorer. He averages 22 points per game. Taj Staveski is fairly solid too. He's averaging 18.5. He's their point guard. So obviously, Staveski's going to take the ball off the court all the time. Oh, by the way, Incarnate Word really only plays 6 or 7 guys a night. They do. That's what their rotation is. Anyways, Staveski's going to take the ball off the court every single time, and usually the play that Incarnate Word goes to every single time they need a bucket, they run double screens, and they find a way to peel Davion Bailey off the off-ball screen, backside, and it's not a cross-court pass, but they'll find a way to funnel him the ball, and he'll take it's a pocket three-point shot. That's the play they run at least 5 times a game for Davion Bailey. It's a lot of off-ball screens for Bailey. It's a lot of, go double big. It's as simple as Staveski's going to dribble the ball off the court. They're going to go double big screen at top, and they're going to set a down screen for Davion Bailey so he can come up to the top of the key, or the side of the key, or the side of the 3-point line. Trust me, everything Incarnate Word runs is to get the ball to Davion Bailey. And how does Staveski score, and how does he have games where he scores 25 points? Well, when teams start picking up on that and they start sinking and they don't bite on the screen, then Staveski just blows right by. So everything is based on Davion Bailey, and everything also is based on if Davion Bailey starts hitting his 3-pointers, because this is a player who's going to get about 15 3-point attempts per game, and that's not a joke. I mean, I've watched the game. Yeah, he attempted 18 against TCU. He's going to attempt about 15 per game. It's just that's what they want to run, and that's what they excel in. They excel in what Davion Bailey does well, and that's shooting. He just needs to get hot from 3. His inside scoring's okay. I mean, he missed a game-winning layup against New Orleans. It was a little midi push shot, but he should have hit it. He's very dependent on the 3-point ball, but it's not this is just a guy I don't want to slander Cam Thomas, but Cam Thomas in the Nets just takes every single shot. And I don't know if that's what Jody Fernandez wants in Brooklyn, but it just feels sometimes all right, why is Cam Thomas why is Cam Thomas pulling up from 5 or 10 feet behind the 3-point line for no reason? Over exaggeration, 6 feet behind the 3-point line for no reason. No, Incarnate Word legitimately, their game plan every single game is feed Davion Bailey as much as possible. We don't care. We are only going to go as far as this guy can take us, which goes both ways. I understand. But he's been playing phenomenal basketball. Guys, Davion Bailey so far, or just in his last 6 games, how about 26, 21, 24, 32, and 28 points? That was 5 games, not 6. But, boy, is he a problem. He is a absolute problem out there. And the worst game I've watched Incarnate Word play this season was when they went to Nichols. And what happened? Davion Bailey shot 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, and only had 7 points. And that was the game that disgusted me about Incarnate Word. I don't know if I said I banned them or not, but I was disgusted, and I never wanted to see Incarnate Word ever again. So we proceeded then to bet against them, and it worked with the New Orleans game. I am going to take Incarnate Word because they've gotten over the speed bump. They've gotten over the obstacle of Davion Bailey not hitting his shots, Staveski not playing well, and I think for the better, they're finding their players that they want to run their offense with, and they're not running as much set things and set plays, and they're limiting the minutes, with all due respect, of a couple players. I don't really want to call anybody out here, but it's Jordan Pike. Jordan Pike's, he still gets decent minutes, but Jordan Pike's not very good. He did score 26 against Southeastern Louisiana. That's a very huge outlier. He still takes 10 shots per game, I guess. Jordan, they've limited Jordan Pike's minutes, yet he still just keeps chucking up threes. I'll say this though about Incarnate Word too. they play really fast, and you have to be prepared to score a lot. The Vaqueros are awful at shooting the basketball. The Vaqueros are awful at scoring in general. How do they beat IUW here? Did I get it right this time? I think I did. How? This team can't score at all. Their only decent win this season is Lamar on the road. I watched this team play UT Arlington. They went 10 minutes without a bucket. Loyola Marymount style. Actually, LMU went 13 minutes without a bucket yesterday, but it's okay. They scored 69 points against New Orleans, 69 points against Nichols, 59 points against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I'm telling you, the Vaqueros are awful. They don't score. They don't get out. There's no home court advantage. There's no crowd. Nobody cares about UT Rio Grande Valley basketball. They don't have any premier scorers. Corey Cotton's their lead guy. He averages 12. Philip Brankovic averages 10. Marvin McGee averages 10. There's no great scorer on this team. And they're just, I probably watched too much Southland basketball than I should. But their offensive sets are just so bad. I mentioned with Incarnate Word, everything is set up for Davian Bailey, right? And they will run set plays for Davian Bailey. The Vaqueros get down the court, they'll dribble up court, and they'll, low entry or high entry entry pass into the high post, back down. Okay, let's see if we get a corner three, no look. All right, back up top, reset. It's awful offense with the Vaqueros run, what they run and what I've seen this season. Incarnate Word should blow this team out the water. They are the better squad, and the road trip and the road factor should not change this game at all. Give me Incarnate Word to go on the road and dominate the UT Rio Grande Valley Vaqueros. Something's up, because I don't know why the Cardinals are plus 100 here. Maybe they completely just crap the bed like they did against Nichols, and if they do, I'm never going to forgive this team again. So give me Incarnate Word on the road plus 100. On to our next game and our fourth best bet of the video. Yes, we're sticking in the Southland. Yeah. Texas A&M Corpus Christi go on the road to Houston, Texas to take on the Houston Christian Huskies. I'm going to take the Islanders. We were on the wrong side of the coin a couple days ago with the Islanders taking on the New Orleans Privateers. I was wrong. I have a lot of confidence in the Corpus Christi Islanders now. Now that I've watched this team more, I watched the New Orleans game. Obviously, I'd watched them prior to that, but I wasn't completely sold. I didn't think they were able to score like that, and they did. Close game through one half. Back and forth first half, and the second half, it's all Corpus Christi. I mean, the Islanders just pull away in that second half against New Orleans, and then a gutsy victory in their last game, going on the road and beating Houston Christian. Now, it is odd, by the way, that the Southland Conference will legitimately put teams on 4-game road trips in the middle of conference play. It's just something you just don't see, and they're going to put teams on, week-and-a-half-long road trips. I understand the Southland Conference does not take up the most, land mass in the United States, so you can go home after games, but I do find it weird that that's just how they schedule in the Southland. Anyways, huge road victory for Corpus Christi in their last one against UT Rio Grande Valley. They beat the Vaqueros at their own game. Low-scoring affair. They win by 4 points, 63-59. Highest scorer for Corpus Christi was Sheldon Williams, who only put up 11 points in that game, yet they found a way to win, and that gives me a lot of confidence with the Islanders going into this matchup with Houston Christian, because I've seen them go out and outscore a fairly good offensive team in New Orleans. I've watched them go out and go on the road and beat a team that just plays defensive-minded basketball, and now they take on Houston Christian, who is worse than both of the teams they just played. I know Houston Christian's got to win over New Orleans. I still think the Privateers are better than Houston Christian. I know, why do you play the games? I understand this is a very Notre Dame take out of me. I just think as a whole, I value a win over New Orleans a lot more than a win over Houston Christian. And I still, if I'm just picking one game, I would take New Orleans to beat Houston Christian if they played again. Houston Christian has played awful basketball, by the way, since that loss to New Orleans, as they've now racked up 5 consecutive L's to Southeastern Louisiana, who's not very good, to McNeese, expected at Nichols. Not just any loss. No, you lost by double digits and 15 points to Nichols. A blowout loss at Iowa State expected, and a blowout loss in their last game to Incarnate Word. Houston Christian struggles to score the basketball. They're much worse than they were last season. Kylan Green leads them in scoring with 12 points per game. This is a player in his senior year starting at point guard. Elijah Brooks has been a fairly good player for them this season. He's been out since mid-December. That's a big blow to this team. Got injured in the Nichols game. Elijah Brooks was averaging 12 points per game, but was on a run going into the Nichols game in which he got injured, where he was averaging 18 points per game in that most recent stretch. So a bad loss for Houston Christian, and they have struggled to get the ball moving and just get they've struggled to get really good output scoring wise without their best player and best scorer Elijah Brooks in the lineup. Because without Elijah Brooks, I'm telling you, everything on that court is Kylan Green. I mean, Kylan Green, the proof is in the stats. The stats don't lie. Kylan Green leads Houston Christian in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. 12 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 5 assists point game, and 1.2 steals per game. Kylan Green does everything, and there's really no help around him. Ryan Bartley is the next leading scorer. He averages 9.5 points per game. The senior out of Decatur, Illinois, playing his first year of Division I basketball. He will have games where he can get into double figures, but there are other games, like the last game that Houston Christian played, where he scored 6 points against Incarnate Word. It's just, there's no consistency happening with Houston Christian currently, and there's no identity for Houston Christian without Elijah Brooks in the court. It's something that they've had to deal with for the last, 3 weeks. I don't like it. Damari Williams has stepped up recently in back-to-back games as Damari Williams put up 19 points in the Iowa State game and 22 points in 33 minutes against Incarnate Word. Has not started much this season. I believe he started in the Incarnate Word game, and I think that's his only start of the year. Yeah, Damari Williams' only start of the year was in their last game against Incarnate Word, but he was their only double-digit scorer. So I assume Houston Christian's going to continue to go to that well tonight with Damari Williams because they finally put him in the starting lineup for the Incarnate Word game. But if I'm Texas A&M Corpus Christi, play solid defense, shut down Damari Williams. He's on a nice 2-game stretch right now, and you see a Houston Christian team that's finally realizing, we have something with this guy who's been coming off our bench all year long. Take him away, and this team should be royally screwed. The Islanders just need to play their game, which is low scoring, maintain that 5 to 10 point lead the entire night, and I don't think the Huskies are going to go on some big comeback and retake the lead and eventually get a victory. Houston Christian's only victories all year long. Southern Arkansas, cool. The College of Biblical Studies, respect, but it's a Division II basketball school. Citadel, sucks. Again, respect, Citadel, but nope. New Orleans on the road, that's it. Those are all their victories this season. They are yet to beat a Division I basketball school at home, which is kind of odd because their 2 D1 wins come on the road, again at New Orleans and at the Citadel. It's a team that's pieced together 5 consecutive L's. They're 1-4 in the conference after they started 1-0 against New Orleans and 5-4 as a whole. It's just absolutely, I got to go with Texas A&M Corpus Christi. There's just a very wide range of productive players on this team, and I was very impressed too with their point guard, Nick Chabogno. He's played fairly solid basketball. Didn't play well in the New Orleans game. Played all right, thought, in the Rio Grande Valley game, but really well in the Nichols game. There's just some good players in Corpus Christi, and there's just too much talent, I believe, in this spot. There's a reason they are listed at minus 140 on the road, but this is truly just a levels matchup, in my opinion, and I don't even think the game's going to be all that close. So I'm going to go with Corpus Christi to go on the road and beat Houston Christian, concluding our marathon of the day in the Southland Conference. And if you obviously clicked on the video, you saw the thumbnail, our final best bet comes in East Lansing, Michigan. I don't think Michigan State can get away from USC by 11.5 points. Obviously 12 points. I think USC is going to keep this into the single digits. Do I think Michigan State wins? Yes. Is it a tough ask for USC to go, not cross country, but go into Michigan, go into East Lansing and win? Obviously it is. I'm not asking them to win. I need them to cover. Michigan State is coming off an L. I considered picking Nebraska today to beat Ohio State, or at least cover to play Ohio State, but I don't know, man. I like Nebraska. I feel like if they're going to lose eventually. Today feels like the day Nebraska is going to lose, and I feel like it's going to happen in Columbus. That's why I have not even mentioned that game so far, and that's why I've gone to this Big Ten game instead, which I believe, are they both on FS1? Is it a doubleheader? It probably is. I'm taking USC. I'm taking SC here, guys. SC has covered this line in every single game but one this year, and obviously that one game was their last game in the state of Michigan over in Ann Arbor against the Michigan Wolverines. It's getting to the point, though, where we don't even need to really acknowledge Michigan basketball games because the Wolverines are just so much better than everybody else. I don't know who beats this team. It's Arizona. That's the one team that could. But, I mean, come on. If Michigan and Arizona match up in the national championship game, we are all picking Michigan, I think. I like Arizona. I just think they lack experience to beat this Michigan team. And I think just talent-wise and size-wise, Michigan has them too. I like Arizona, but yeah, Michigan's the best team in the country. They should be ranked 1, but they're not. It's okay. They will be eventually. And I don't even care. I like Indiana. But I think they're really good, and I respect it. Yaxel Lindenberg, he was a baller last year at UAB. I'm a big Adai Mara fan. If you watched the channel last year, you know how high I was on Adai Mara last year at UCLA. So I will give Michigan a lot of credit for what they've built this season. You know, don't worry, Indiana's got you covered in football now. So Big Ten country in terms of football is for the Hoosiers. Anyways, USC 12-2 this season, 1-2 so far in the Big Ten, but 12-2 as a whole. Big victories this year over the likes of Oregon on the road. All right. Seton Hall over in Maui. Arizona State to win in Maui. Sure. That's about it. 1-2, of course, in the Big Ten. Their only Big Ten victory. Oregon on the road. Losses to Washington and Michigan. Okay, Michigan game, they lose by 40 points. I'm telling you right now, when Michigan and Michigan State play, I think Michigan's going to beat them by at least 20. That's just how much better they are than everybody else in the country. And yes, that is a rivalry game. Michigan State doesn't get bigger than that, obviously. I'm telling you, first game of the year, and we'll see. That game's not till January 3rd. But when Michigan goes into East Lansing, I think the Wolverines are going to win by at least 20 points. And I'm serious about that. That's just how good that team is. So again, going back to my earlier point, I'm putting absolutely nothing into losing to Michigan. Michigan is just on a different tier right now when it comes to college basketball, and that's okay. They're just so much better than everybody else. As for USC, every other game this year, they put up points for the most part, except for the Wazoo game, which was odd. But this team scores. Chad Baker-Mazara has played very well in his first season for USC. Well enough, let's say. This team defensively is not very good. Obviously, they're still missing Rodney Rice quite a bit. But Baker-Mazara is averaging 20.5. Ezra Asar is averaging 17. You got a lot of decent role players and other guys who can fill in, and starters too on the squad who can score. But obviously, it's a lot of Baker-Mazara. It's a lot of Asar, and that's okay. As for the Michigan State Spartans, are they a talented team? Absolutely. But coming off a low-scoring game against Nebraska, and I get it, that's just how Nebraska plays. That is a Cornhuskers basketball game this season. That's the way you're going to have to play that team, or at least to break that mold, you're going to have to put up 80 points on that squad, which will be difficult to do because of how they play defensively. But when I look at every Michigan State game this year, they all do follow that same kind of script of low scoring, they barely get by teams. Best victory of the year for them, undoubtedly, I think is UNC. Just because of the way they beat North Carolina. I get North Carolina just went to SMU and lost. Caleb Wilson's not in the conversation, I think, in terms of a Devonsta Peterson or Boozer, but that's fine. Michigan State beat North Carolina by, I think, 16 points at home. Dominant victory. The Kentucky win was great, too, but a lot of their other wins are just close games. Arkansas win by 3 points. Penn State game on the road by 4 points. They beat Oakland by 9 points. We need USC to stay within 11.5. This is a Big Ten school with Big Ten players and a player and a scorer like Chad Baker-Mazara. I get it. Michigan State is loaded with talent. With Jackson Kohler, with Jeremy Fears, with Cohen Carr, with Carson Cooper. There's some really good players. I completely understand that. But USC can put up points, and let's not forget, too, remember the Cornell Big Red? Yeah, Cornell went into East Lansing in their final game of 2025 on the 29th, and Cornell went to East Lansing and scored 97 points. Now, in all fairness, Michigan State scored 114, but still, you can score on this team. I know, again, they get into a lot of low-scoring close games, but the style of game SC wants to play is the exact style of game Cornell plays. And sure, Cornell just doesn't have the talent to, one, keep up with Michigan State, and B, guard Michigan State. USC does. I'm a little concerned. Okay, I will say this. I'm a little concerned with the bigs. Like, Jacob Kofi's going to have a lot on his plate. Ezra Asar is going to have a lot on his plate tonight with the big play of Michigan State, obviously, with what they do at Jackson Kohler, what they do with Cohen Carr and Carson Cooper. I think we're fine here, man. I'm going to go USC. I think this team I think they have the capability of scoring enough coming off that loss to Michigan. And honestly, I think that might do them a favor. Guys, it is so difficult to play the Wolverines to the point now where if you play literally anybody else, it feels like a new lease on life. That's exactly what USC has gotten now going to East Lansing. They're going to walk into Michigan State and cover 11.5 points. The victory, stay away from that. But get me USC to go on the road and cover the points plus 11.5 again in East Lansing, Michigan. Folks, thank y'all for watching our college basketball best bets here on January 5th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you did disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily college basketball best bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.